Hello, hello. This is JJ DiGeronimo. It is wintertime here in the Northern Hemisphere, and we're so happy that you joined us. I am with my friend Molly Flowers today. She has been an astrological guide for me. I've been part of her community and her network for probably 4.5, maybe 5 years now. And I love when we do these sessions together because she reminds us that our birth chart is not just something you can reference now and then, but it's something you can use throughout your life and even in your career. So let me bring Molly on and let her introduce herself. So, Molly, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, JJ. It's so fun to talk to you again. How's everybody doing? I just love being here with y'all here from Virginia. I'm here to talk about career forecasting, very simple method of career forecasting, simple on its face, at least simple for me, to group you all into groups and give you a forecast using just one piece of the chart that's really simple for you to look at or look for, to identify. And I think JJ brought a birth chart that we can use up on screen so that you can find your Saturn sign, and we can show you exactly how to get there. And this is a chart from astro.com. Go to astro.com, choose you want your birth chart as one of the options on the home page there. Yeah, and that would probably be under horoscopes. Oh no, look at that chart drawing at the bottom left corner, chart drawing. You can click on that and get a real simple chart. And then JJ, will you pull up the chart that comes up after you enter in your details, your date of birth, your time of birth, and then your city of birth. And then boom, it even does all the time zones for you and everything. So what you get there is your birth chart. It's a circular map that has a lot of symbols on it that if you've never seen before can look kind of intimidating. But where I want you to focus for now is that bottom left corner again. There's a list of each planet, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars. I don't know if JJ, if you're able to zoom in on that at all, but anyway, maybe we can do something with the video to show you zoomed in on that. And the point that I want you to clock is Saturn. I want you to clock the sign of your Saturn, which is in blue just to the right of the word Saturn on your chart. And also the degree, which should be the first number you see. So just clock that number too. It should be between 00 and 29. Just clock that number. And I will refer to it later. For some of you, not even for all the signs. It's not that important for everybody, but for some signs it is. Cool. So that's the chart. And what I want to show you now, if I can share my screen, I'll show you my career outlook for 2026. Give me just a sec. There it is. Okay. Yeah, fine. Okay. Okay, there it is. Okay, good. Okay, here we are. I have this document that I created that I'm going to give you a link to go to. And it's the 2026 Career Outlook. I made a short forecast for each of the 12 career signs because it's really easy for me to use the 12-year cycle of the planet Jupiter. If I start that cycle at your Saturn and clock it throughout all the signs of the zodiac, then I can tell you kind of where you are in the cycle. So I'm going to pull out just a few examples of different signs in a few different positions in the zodiac signs, because that's all we really have time for, because we want to dig into a little chart stuff first. But I am going to give you a link where you can get this whole document and keep referring to it throughout 2026. And this is the cycle I'm looking at. It starts with a new moon. We are talking about different planets, but we're using a technique called synodic cycles, which is the where we trace the movements of one planet relative to another planet. Saturn moves slower than Jupiter. Jupiter has a 12-year cycle, and they meet up in the sky every 20 years, which is kind of interesting, but not really relevant to where we are. We're looking at that 12-year cycle from Saturn starting at, or the 12-year cycle of Jupiter starting at your Saturn and going 12 years coming back to your Saturn. Okay. So wherever your Saturn is, that's the new moon point for your personal career cycle. So the new moon starts when Saturn is in the same, or when Jupiter is in the same sign as your Saturn. When Jupiter is in the same sign as your Saturn, Jupiter in the sky, same sign as your Saturn, happens every 12 years. Every 12 years, you start a new cycle, and it opens with the spaghetti throwing phase, the new moon phase. It matures into the crescent phase. The new moon, I think, is kind of a seed throwing phase, seed starting phase. The crescent is when those seeds start to sprout and come up, and then the first quarter is when they're really leafing out and growing. Thank you. And then the gibbous is when you're starting to see the fruit. The mission is starting to express. The world is starting to see it. And then the full moon phase is when it is the most visible. That I think is dispersed in the diagram that JJ showed you just now. So we're fulfilling the cycle about 6 years in, and then we begin to wind the cycle down. We disseminate our gifts, our talents, our resources. We reorient, we rethink the cycle. We start to get tired a little bit of what we've been doing and maybe yearn for something new and different. And that is the story of the last couple of years of the cycle. And then all of a sudden, whatever limitations kept you from starting again, go away, and you start that new cycle. So every 12 years, you come back to the same place that you were in. So where you are in 2025 is where you were in 2013, is where you were in 2001, and back and back and back. You can go all the way back as far as you've been around. Okay, so to get my handout, you can go to the link that I'm going to give you later, but I'm going to go through a few Saturn signs just for grins, especially the ones who have really exciting things going on. One of them is Saturn in Cancer. Saturn in Cancer this year is where the Saturn in Geminis were last year. And we're in that exciting phase. Saturn in Cancer, you are now in this exciting career phase coming up in 2026, where Jupiter is in your sign, and a lot of doors are opening for you that might have been closed before. Okay, so 2025 and 2026 are all about a fresh start. Depending on exactly where Saturn is, the timing is a little bit different, but basically this is a year of new things. It's a spaghetti throwing phase of the career cycle. So you're meant to try new things and see what sticks. And a lot of times this can be when you're able to do the work of your heart at a higher level. Like maybe you're able to go part-time with your job and do what you really want to do more of the time. A lot of new ideas. The way forward isn't clear, but you're meant to experiment. So exciting time for you, Saturn in Cancer. I heard this last night. Your new 12-year career cycle is still a puppy. A darling, dorky, messy ball of love. So cultivate that enthusiasm in yourself. In gardening terms, this is your seed planting year, your seed planting phase. When a farmer or a gardener plants a seed, they are often unsure which ones are going to sprout and grow and do well. You take a chance on a seed, but you can and will figure this out later. Now is the time to plant a lot of the seeds. Experiment, keep an open mind, and generate lots of ideas. Yay, Saturn in Cancer. Saturn in Leo is another one that I want to point out as all of the fixed signs. Okay, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. you all have a little bit of a little asterisk, but this is where the numbers come in. This is where the numbers become important. If your number is 27, 28, or 29, there's a special note. There's a special timing note because Jupiter won't get to your degrees, sadly, until 2027. Okay, so your career forecast, you get to follow the next sign. So Leo, this is true for you. If your Saturn is 27, 28, or 29, Leo, then the Virgo forecast applies for you. Okay, these notes are in the handout, so this isn't something you must write down or necessarily stress out about, but I wanted to make a note so that you know what to expect. Leo is where Jupiter is going next. Okay, so Leos are about to have this new career moment. So exciting times are just ahead. Before the career moment happens, a lot of times you will feel trapped in the old cycle. You really want to move out of the old cycle, but the new one hasn't kicked in yet. The new cycle starts kicking in for Leo next summer, unless you're 28, 27, 28, 29, and then it's summer 2027. I think spring 2027 is more like it. Spring 2027. Okay, so fret not, it is coming, but you have to wait just a little bit longer. It's a delay for you late Leos, okay? But for the rest of you, sometime in 2026, you get to make this new fresh start. Sometime in 2026, the limitations that you feel like are holding you back now will go away to some extent, and you can move forward on your own terms and move into a new cycle, and you go into that very exciting seed planting phase.
So
Yay.
Molly,
Yes.
so let me ask, just for clarification, especially if you're not really an avid birth chart reader, the first step is downloading your birth chart, then looking where your Saturn is in your birth chart, which is underneath your chart. It'll say, Saturn, the degree, and the sign. And
Yes.
so you're saying, okay, when you look up Saturn, the degree, and the sign, this is the sign you're following. If it's in the later degrees, 26, 27, and beyond, that often hits in the next sign just because the way the cycles of Jupiter is running.
No, that's not true. That is because of the way Jupiter moves in 2026. That is because Jupiter is going to go all the way through Leo, all the way to 2020, Jupiter is going to move into Leo. Boom, 0 Leo. Jupiter's going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 15, 20, 25, get all the way to 26, and then go retrograde in December of 2026. So that is a specific guidance for this year. Specific guidance for this year for those end degrees. 27, 28, 29, because Jupiter is going to go retrograde and not get back there until next spring.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So it's
and
the
that's why
retrograde.
your forecast is going to look more like the following sign, the next sign.
Okay. So you download, you look up your birth chart with your name, your birth time, your birth date, and the location. It'll give you a chart. And if they don't have their birth time, they can just put, what should they put in? 12 o'clock?
I usually put 12 o'clock noon. Yeah. For the purposes of this exercise, it doesn't matter at all. Your Saturn sign doesn't change in a day, so you'll be just fine.
Okay, perfect. And then they look up Saturn, and this is what you're telling them. So you should be able to do a step-by-step process. And like you were saying, the fixed signs, really, they all sort of behave a lot in regards to how Jupiter is retrograding.
Yeah, so Jupiter reaches 27 Leo, which is a fixed sign. So that affects the career cycle timing for all the other fixed signs.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. And then you'll upload this document. So, okay, I just want to clarify for people who might not be like me. Sometimes I have to hear things 2 and 3 times before I understand. So I appreciate you going back and revisiting that.
Yeah.
Great. So she has
do we have time to highlight one more sign?
Yes, please.
Or did you want to go into your chart? I know we're having a little bit of a time issue.
Well,
Let's
I feel
see.
like whatever you think is important, I love the idea. We'll add the link to this that people can look it up. You have other videos we can add to of how to download your birth chart and other things that people, but I love the idea that we visited the first document is that it's a 12-year cycle and it takes time. So if you're having a little itch in your job or you're feeling like you're maybe in the middle or you're winding down, this helps give people clarity of where they are in their career cycle in that particular moment.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, please keep going. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
There's one more sign I want to highlight, and that's Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius is the opposite sign of Leo, so they're having the opposite effects when Jupiter moves into Leo next year around the summertime. I think it's sometime in June. Of course, this is Aquarius is one of the fixed signs, so if it's 27, 28, or 29, you go ahead and read Pisces. Sorry, but you're going to go ahead and read Pisces. Your time is coming, but later. It's delayed. But if you have Saturn in Aquarius, not 27, 28, 29, then your career is reaching a stage of fulfillment. Your career cycle started right around the pandemic year, the terrible year, 2020. There was some new thing that started for you then. Started for a lot of us, but for you, it was extra special. And it is coming to a place of fulfillment now. You've earned the skills, the experience, and the resources that you need to change your situation for the better. So you might harvest a promotion or a job in a new company, or make a profitable sale, or make some other advantageous move that allows you to apply what you have learned in a new way. So Saturn in Aquarius, you are also in a very special part of the cycle. And that also applies to Saturn in Capricorn for a lot of you as well. And that was all I wanted to say. I just wanted to call out just a few more of you because you've got such interesting things going on this coming year.
I love this. So can I bring this back up just for clarity? I want to just bring this back to stage.
Oh, sure.
So the way you started the chart, first of all, it looks like we go counterclockwise, right? Around the cycle. Yep. And so right here where it says begin, is that essentially where Leo would go? And then you go through every sign all the way back up where then, let's see, Cancer would be.
Your Saturn goes at begin. Your Saturn is the starting point. And then wherever Jupiter is, wherever Jupiter in Leo lands, that's what phase you are on. Does that make sense?
No.
You put the degree, whatever sign your Saturn is in, that sign is begin. That sign goes at the 0.
Okay, so say for me, that's a Gemini. So Gemini,
Yep.
6 degrees. That goes here at the top.
Yeah.
And then how do I know where I am on this chart?
We would, I don't have time to show you right now, but we would put up the math. You would go to my handout because I've already done that for you. But I do not have time to teach you the math, but I would love to. That is something I teach, but we don't have time.
No, that's fine. I was just trying to see if we could map what you just told to this chart too. Like, can you lay that chart on this chart, or no, this chart is specific to you?
Okay, yeah. If you have Saturn in Gemini, then begin is just finishing for you, and you're moving from begin to explore.
Okay. That makes sense. So when they find themselves on there, we can do this a different time, but I was just curious if you could layer the two together, but only if you do the math, only if you work one-on-one. And maybe that's what
I can't give you the chart eyes yet, but if you tell me your Saturn sign, I can tell you where you are.
Oh, does anyone want to do that? I know there's a few people online. If anyone wants to put what their Saturn sign is, you can put that in the chat. This is so helpful. And I think it gives people a lot of clarity that, sometimes when they're feeling like things aren't going that well in their career, this is a great tool for them because they can understand, are they in the beginning? Are they in the rethink phase? Are they in the cultivate? So I feel like this is such an amazing tool.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I love about astrology and that my clients and friends appreciate who I do astrology for is that it's confirmation that you're not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like especially when the stuff's hitting the fan, you're like, oh, this is a cycle. This is a rough part of the cycle. Here's what it's about, and I'll get through it.
Yes. No, I love that. And I think it's like so amazing because it gives you, like you said, and here are the directions. It really
Mm,
tells you and to use the birth chart as a tool, not only in life, but at work too. And you
yeah.
have so many amazing classes. I've taken so many of them. So when you send me the links, can you be sure to send me the links like the basic classes you teach too? Because I'm positive people who find this may want some 101, and I know you do such an amazing job at that. And then also your Patreon group.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Awilda, you and I are both Geminis. She's a Gemini 3, third degree.
Oh, cool. Wow, that's close to mine. That's close to my Saturn degree too. Cool.
And so we're through, Geminis have just like through the beginning part of our new career.
Yeah, we're depending on where in Gemini Saturn is, that makes a little bit of a difference, but you're somewhere near the end of the beginning.
Hmm.
Near the end of begin, near the end of the new moon phase. And you're moving into the crescent phase where you start to see the sprouts coming up from all the seeds that you've been planting in the last year. So, isn't that exciting? I know, I know.
I know she'll be thrilled with that. I know. I can see her sitting at her desk smiling right now because we just had a really great conversation. I think it was last week or maybe 10 days ago. We're talking about, how do you manifest and how do you bring things to fruition? And she's launching her first international retreat this spring. So she's doing that in Jamaica. So I know she's going to be really excited to see that.
Nice. That's going to be great. I just made the links that people can use to sign up. It still says 2025 everywhere, but they can go ahead and sign up, and I will get everything, all the poop in a group here so that they can download the handout and when they put in their email address. And that way that we can stay in touch and you'll be in my ecosystem. And if for some reason you don't want that, it's super easy to unsubscribe and no hard feelings.
Well, good. That sounds so great. So I'll put up all the links. And Molly, I just so appreciate you joining us and really teaching us how to look at the birth chart a different way. I think many people often talk about love life and money and, when different things are going to happen, but really using it specifically for as a career tool is one of my favorite things. And I really appreciate you sharing this basic but helpful information. And really, it's a launching pad for people that are interested and want to learn more. Now, Molly, someone I've been working with for a long time, and I recommend her to any of you that feel like it could get a little bit more clarity, either on her self-guided videos or her one-on-one time, or even visit her Patreon account.
Yes, eventually I'm going to have my classes on Patreon. I tried them before, but nobody signed up, and I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. But if I have a lot of interest in classes, I definitely have some things I can put out there for you. And also, I'm going to do some live classes in Waynesboro starting in January in my local small town. And I might also have videos to share of those if you're not lucky enough to be a Waynesboro local.
That's amazing. Well, thank you, Molly. Thank you, Awilda. Thank you, everyone who's joined. And the video's up and running, and we'll add the links. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, JJ. Thank you, viewers, present and future. Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate it. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.